MSTR2100, the meme coin for the MicroStrategy stock. What's the potential upside? Do we see continued adoption? Let's have a look at some on-chain metrics to figure out if this is actually a hidden gem in the meme coin world. Now what we've got over here is the Ethereum chain, and we are ordering the trending tokens by their liquidity pool size. And over here we've got the MSTR2100 token at place number 33, $2 million worth of liquidity. Now that's on Uniswap V2. We've also got a secondary pool on Uniswap V3. So in total it adds up to roughly 2.5 million. And so of course the interesting thing is always the price performance, and it had been pretty good. But is this another pump and dump? Since launch 1 month ago, we went up by more than 5,000%, but in the meantime, we've also seen a dump of more than 80%. Is this going to repeat? We are not going to find the answer on the website. We want to look at data most people aren't looking at. We're going to look at things that people don't consider. We look at the number of buyers and sellers, at the number of whales and retail investors, at the activity in general, the things that aren't that obvious in the price data. Now, MSTR2100 is a derivative of SPX16900. And that token went absolutely bonkers. It went up by more than 24,000%. It's currently at 90 cents. And we talked about that token when it was still at 11 cents. So I try to be early on this channel. I publish videos on meme coins regularly. Feel free to subscribe to not miss the next one. Now back to MSTR2100. What's the potential upside? The market cap is currently at 50 million. Now that's not too bad. It's not super small. It's not super big. There are plenty of meme coins that are 2, 3, 4x larger. With a 5x, it would be close to the Michi meme coin. With a 6x, it would get close to Pepe coin. And with a 10x, we would be slightly beating Frog, which by the way, we also covered early on this channel. And so a market cap of 50 million is pretty much in the sweet spot. When we look at the top performing meme coins in the last 7 days, then we mainly see tokens in that area. We've got Sigma that more than doubled. So before it doubled, it was at around 50 million. We've got Lock-in. It also doubled. It also was at around 50 million before that, etc. It's the 50 to maximum $100 million mark that I believe is the most interesting for meme coins. And this is currently where MSTR16900 is currently at. Now let's start with the on-chain metrics. Let's try to figure out how much longer this rally can last, or if there's some danger that we could see another 80% drop. So on-chain, we've got a bit over 6,000 holders. On Twitter, or the X platform, we've got 8,000 followers. In Telegram, we've got 5,000 members. So all of those numbers somewhat align. It seems like there's no obvious manipulation here. But what about attention? How is that developing? Let's have a look at the number of returning traders versus new traders, because if a lot of new traders come into a token, the price tends to appreciate. And so we see that on the left side. We see that on token launch, there was of course a lot of new users. We then see 3 days afterwards another influx of new users, but since then we tend to rather trend downwards. So that's not only in the number of new users, it's also in the relationship of new users to returning users over time. But it seems like we're at somewhat of an equilibrium now. Still, 84% of trading happens by already existing users in the token. What's not declining as quickly is the trading volume. And what's also good is that the number of buyers tends to be higher than the number of sellers on a day. In other words, the returning users that we always see, they tend to simply dollar cost average into the token. So on the left side, we see the number of daily buyers and sellers, and on the right side, that's normalized to 100%. And we tend to be hovering at around 55% buyers versus 45% sellers. And so who's currently driving the rally? It seems to be the big money. It does not seem to be a lot of retail investors, because let's have a look at the number of small wallets versus big wallets. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets with at least 500 MSTR tokens. At the current price, that's a bit over $1,000. For the chart in the middle, we go at 10x in memo holding. So that's now 5,000 tokens or $10,000 worth of the token. On the right chart, another 10x. So that's now $100,000 worth of the token. We can see how the growth seems to have stalled at around the 17th of October. So that was over here. We still saw a subsequent correction, not necessarily surprising, but then somewhat surprising, we've seen the price shoot up by 150%. 5%. Again, what appears to be happening is that the current holders of MSTR are simply buying more of the token. Even today, we see almost the same number of buyers versus sellers, yet the price is going up by 17%. And so it's not necessarily that obvious how to time this token, right? We don't necessarily know what's happening in the heads of those whales. That being said, what I like to do is I like to track individual whales. I like to track people that tend to make the right calls in the past. I like to track people that influence markets, that have a big following on YouTube, for example. And so with that wallet tracking, because the blockchain is an open ledger, right? We can see what kind of wallets buy and sell what. We got a notification that House of Crypto bought MSTR on the 31st of October for $4,500 and then just a few days afterwards sold it for $6,600. So a clean gain of roughly 50% in a matter of less than a week. Here's that influencer that we're tracking. But we don't just track him, right? We track others as well. We track Kyle Chessy, for example. He bought the GOAT token, and that was on the 14th of October for 13 cents. Now we are at 80 cents, up almost 500%. Or check out this signal. This is Frog, bought on the day of launch, up more than 3,300% since then. So here's that influencer. We are tracking 12 of his wallets. We track in total more than 400 wallets. That all happens in the premium membership of this channel. So it's down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. There's even an entire tutorial video course on how to track influencer wallets, how to find the wallets in the first place, how to then track them, how to afterwards also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. So that course has 8 videos. Feel free to check it out. There's more than 100 different videos in premium in total, also on on-chain analytics, etc. The things we have looked at the beginning of this video. And so we then discuss our wallet findings in separate channels. And of course, we also discuss the trading signals that we get from those wallets in dedicated altcoin chats. So feel free to check it out. It's $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So there's zero risk for you. In case you do not like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. And so I believe that MSTR2100 is somewhat of a dangerous game right now. We don't necessarily see the adoption by retail anymore. I personally look for the next opportunity. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.